Okay. So I have a couple questions. Maybe I'm learning this decoding thing. I think I'm getting better at it. Let me take a look here. And I'd like to say a couple things. So the first thing I'd like to say is that when I bring things out and when I show receipts and when I explain that this stuff is bad and I show all this stuff, it's not to go after the people. It's to go after the people on the channel that are possibly ruining good channels, right? And let me just, I'll give an example. Travis's channel. I really like Travis's channel. I think he does a great job in regards to what his purpose is and what his potential is with the channel. So as somebody who's on the outside looking in, I want Travis's channel to succeed. Now, that being said, I have to call out things that I see are called out, like I've said before. Travis might have to rein some things in to keep his channel to go the route that he wants it to go, which is, I believe, is good. Okay. Now, I've never called Travis a grifter at all. I don't feel he is. The issue that I have with is some of the people on his channel that are grooming people to go a certain way, which I believe is bad for his style of channel. And it doesn't allow other people with in my opinion, larger channels to assist him in growing and doing things, because let's say me, I couldn't help promote that type of channel if certain things are being constantly said on that channel every single day in and day out, that technically governments are looking at. Now, and this is some of the stuff that I bring receipts and I bring information in regards to this stuff, because I want, I feel one of the things that my line is, that where I draw the line, is allowing people to be taken advantage of, or allowing people to fail or get themselves into situations that they can't get out of, that they didn't intend to get there, but other people took them there. All right. And there are individuals that keep, like I said, going over and over and over and projecting the same thing. And there's, obviously channels like Phil and some other people, Jeff B and stuff like that, and Kathy, that keep this thing going when this is not a good thing to keep projecting. And I've showed various receipts for that. So I'm trying to show that this is dangerous, believe it or not, want it to be or not, at least in the social climate that we have right now, it is. And it's being watched and it's being looked at and things like that. So this is another one that came out from El Donato Trump that everybody says is Trump. And what I wanted to do is say, if this truly is Trump, which I'm not saying I believe that, but what I'm saying is, if this is truly Trump, and this is a tweet from El Donato, and the information is right here. There's no need to even decode this. He's telling you exactly what's going on, and you're still not listening. And people that are trying to decode things that have no idea what they're talking about, well, the words are right here, right? It's it, and I'll explain. So I did go into the fact that Donald Trump is, and even, in regards to the text and everything that's happening, the January 6th is a very bad event. They're going to use it against him. And hold on one second, and I will basically show you. All right. Of course, I'm going to have to play this commercial, so we're just going to hit play right here, and we're going to let the commercial go, and then I will fast forward. Skip this ad. Perfect. This was Denver 7 channel. This came out yesterday. And kind of where I wanted to go is after her speech is this area.
Nancy Pelosi with many from being in that room or certainly being close to one another. Of course, the politics of this time is another factor in the reason we see primarily Democrats in that room. I want to bring in our chief Washington correspondent, Jonathan Karl. John, you witnessed that moment of silence, obviously extremely powerful, particularly in light of hearing from those officers again last night who defended the Capitol. They said there are many whose names are not known to this day who saved one another from that assault, and of course those who lost their lives and took their own lives in the weeks and months that followed because of what they have been dealing with ever since, the private suffering. I want to ask you, though, about the partisan display, even on a day like today with this moment of silence. The vast majority, if not all of the people on that House floor serving the country right now were Democrats. You've talked with one key Republican, though, who thought it was important to come.
So just so I can get this out here real quick and give a little bit of Context. So this type of stuff right here was going to be aired, and this is where Trump wanted to come out and do a speech to go against this and basically say stuff was stolen, this is crap, blah, 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 blah. And that would have been horrible optics for him to come out in a political theater. Absolutely the worst decision he could have ever made would be to do a speech following this. It would have been horrendous. And my problem is the fact that he even thought it could be a good idea scares me. Now, there have been other people on other channels, specifically Kathy B and stuff, that have stated that Dick Cheney was arrested. Right? That Dick Cheney was arrested, kind of fly in, because news media outlets like Real Raw News stated this. He's flying in to see his daughter. He's wanted. The CIA picked him up. Just so you know, the CIA is not able to operate on U.S. soil. Picked him up and arrested him and things like that. And I want to play this for you.
David, it is striking that, for the most part, Republicans are absent from this commemoration. Republican leaders in the House and the Senate are not in Capitol Hill. They are not in Washington. They are not taking part in these commemorations at all. There is one very notable exception, and I just spoke to him minutes before he walked onto the House chamber to be there for that moment of silence, and that is the former Vice President, Dick Cheney, one of the most prominent Republican elder statesmen alive in America today. He decided to be here today. He came with his daughter, Liz, who is another one of the very few Republicans taking part of this, obviously a central figure in the January 6th committee investigating what happened 1 year ago today. And Dick Cheney was there. I spoke to him briefly before he walked into the House chamber, and he told me, I said, why are you here? Why did you feel it was important to be here? And he told me it is an important historical event. You can't overestimate how important it is, referring to this anniversary of January 6th. And then he told me something that I think will make a lot of waves today, David. He told me that he is deeply disappointed in the Republican leadership. Those are his exact words. He said, I am deeply disappointed in the Republican leadership. And he was specifically talking about how they have handled the events of January 6th and the aftermath, and what he described as a failure to defend the Constitution. Strong words from somebody who was not only the former Vice President of the United States, a former Chief of Staff to a Republican president, but also somebody who served here in the House as a member of the Republican leadership, and somebody looked up to many of the people currently in Republican leadership as a mentor, as somebody who they admire. And he is telling them today that he is disappointed in how they have handled January 6th and the aftermath.
Now, I agree. The whole situation was handled poorly, obviously. Things didn't go the way certain people wanted. Things went the way some people wanted. Doesn't matter which side you're on, right? It doesn't matter which side you're on. This is not a schoolyard. This is a country, the highest level of the country, our country's government, and it was handled like a schoolyard, right? And I understand that events may or may not have taken place, like I said, but the way that was handled and the way that all came about, to be honest, ruined everything. Because when it turned into a legitimate request and a legitimate investigation and a possibility of a legitimate inquiry, it was turned into a schoolhouse playground. And it was brought down to intelligent levels, and next thing you know, here we are, and we're nowhere because of the way that was handled. And this goes about in regards to when handling lots of situations. I handle situations completely different than some people do. If I'm called out or somebody has threatened me, which they have, I'm not going to drop down to the level of the schoolyard. I'm going to handle it in a business, adult level, and that's how I proceed with things. And I have a platform, and my ability is to speak and get this out. And this is everyone. I want to bring everybody else up to my level, right? I don't want to come down to yours. I don't want you to stay down there. I want you to come up to the level I'm at. And so we can be intellectuals together, and you might see something that I don't see, and bounce something off of me, and I'm like, ooh, I didn't see that, and that happens all the time. But the issue is that it's hard coming out of that level, right? But this is the problem that we had on these days, is that it dropped down to this level, and now we're trying to claw our way out of that schoolyard. Now, so that was one that happened on Jan 6th. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is a statement at the end of this, which I believe, if this is him, which I don't believe it is, but if it is, then it needs to be looked at and read for the words that it says. Okay? Because here's what I believe is going to happen. We're at a point now where people are willing this into. They want to will it into effect. They want to be positive vibes, bring it through. So negativity is going to make this all stop. So I truly believe that Will and I truly believe that the reason that this is going to be called a failure is going to be because of the negativity from the people who didn't believe. I believe that's the excuse that's going to be used. And when that excuse is used, I'm going to say, see, I told you so. I told you so. So that's, you need to see the Podbean thing. That's something that everybody needs to be aware of. I'm calling it now, that the people are going to come out and say that the reason this didn't go through is there wasn't enough positive energy towards the movement. And the negativity stopped it. And it's done and it's over with. And the people who brought this out and the people that did all this are going to be able to get off the hook because of that. And I don't feel they should be able to get off the hook. I feel they should be held the feet to the fire. That can't be an excuse. I'm calling it now. Will and I are both calling this now. If you use that excuse, I'm going to say to all your followers, I told you so. Now, here's what this means. All right. It's basically the last paragraph. America is a laughing stock of the world, and it is all because of a real insurrection, which took place November 3rd. But an election year and MAGA Republicans should get elected and work with me to fix this horror that Joe Biden and the Democrats have brought us. He's basically saying if this person is who you guys say it is, who you believe it is you'll have to wait until midterm elections to fix this. He says it right here, which took place. But this is an election year, and MAGA Republicans should get elected and work with me to fix this horror that Joe Biden and the Democrats have brought before us. He's not saying I'll come back before that. He's not saying I'm on my way. I'll be there to fix this. January 15th, I'm coming back and we'll get you all elected. He's saying this year's elected year and you'll work with me to fix this. You're going to have to wait. It's not going to get fixed until midterms, this person is saying. He's not storming and taking over with the military. He's not tossing everybody out. There'll be no hangings. This is an election year, and MAGA Republicans should get elected and work with me to fix this horror that Joe Biden and the Democrats have brought us. Where does that? He wouldn't need an election year to storm. He wouldn't need an election year for for COG of government, continuity of government. He wouldn't need that. If the military is in charge, why would he need to wait for the elections? He wouldn't. He wouldn't. It's right here. It's right here, put out by Eldonado.com. Who you believe is Trump. It's right here. You can't argue with this. He does not say this is the military. He says, work with me to fix this. If the military is in charge and he was in charge and the whole world's a cuck to Trump, he wouldn't need the election. Why would he? You tell me. It's right here. Here's the other thing. So I'm trying. Did he answer me yet? Rat bastard. No, not yet. I'm trying to make sure, but right now, this is another problem I have. Jeff B said he flew on a plane to pick up ballots from Arizona on Mike's show to Mike's subscribers. And this is talking to you, Mike. I'm putting this out to you now. Liberty Warrior, putting this out to you. He said this to your subscribers. Your subscribers try to hold you and your standard to the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God, right? That's 100% that means that the people bringing intel to your channel and giving it to your subscribers should be the truth. If not, if they're lying to you and your subscribers, then what makes you any better than the fake media? Nothing. So, if he did fly on those planes to pick up these ballots, what is this? This came out today at 8:07 Eastern Standard Time. Cyber Ninja shutting down after a judge finds Arizona audit company. Let me make sure we blow this up. Oh, wrong one. Make sure we blow this up. Cyber Ninjas, a firm hired by the Arizona Senate to conduct a review of the Maricopa County election results on Thursday, announced that it is shutting down after the county government report slammed the firm with a judge ordered to pay $50,000 in fines. And I'm going to link this article in the comments section. You can read it yourself. The news followed by a Thursday order by Cyber Ninjas turned over public records in the Arizona Republic, including emails and texts to comply with the August ruling. The firm was hired to conduct an audit in 2020 elections in Maricopa County following former President Trump's claim, and the election was stolen from him. Cyber Ninjas, which says it recounted 2.1 million ballots, confirmed Biden beat Trump in the state, but claimed that in its September draft report that the thousands of ballots had issued, including duplicate ballots, voters who cast ballots multiple times unregistered. Caracona Copy released this report, arguing that Cyber Ninjas made 22 misleading claims, 41 inaccurate claims, and 13 claims that were false. The county said Cyber Ninjas made faulty and inaccurate conclusions about more than 53,000 ballots in 22 different counties, and empty pretty. Anyways, so I'm going to put this in here. So if you flew and picked up ballots, who did you pick them up from? Because we're still working with ballots here in Arizona. So here's the thing. Either you didn't pick up ballots and you lied to Mike and you lied to his subscribers and you are lying on what he wants to be a news channel, a non-fake news channel. And now you're fully aware that it's time for you to actually vet your people. You need to vet them. Because if you don't want to be any better than the fake news, it's your job to vet them. So who did he pick them up from? Because it looks like Cyber Ninjas was just until today was still dealing with ballots and stuff like that. And now they're being told to stop. To stop. Shutting down. Stop it. So, that being said, let me know where we go from here.